Ooh, this sign says Abergavenny. And there's a river. And there's a mudlarker. What a coincidence. Let's go have a look.
Actually, this one has got something on it. Abergavenny is a beautiful place, a beautiful town, wonderful shops, good places to eat, glorious history and fantastic views.
And lots of aeroplanes.
And lots of airplanes and rather noisy traffic on this bridge. But of course, we're mudlarkers. And in Abergavenny there's a river Gavenny, so we've got to have a look, haven't we? Let's see if we can find anything here in the river and under this tunnel.
Ooh, there's the tunnel under the road. Should we go have a look? So come on, pop your wellies on. And we're going in. Ooh, that's very cold. Ooh, can you feel the cold on the toes? You can. Ooh, already something interested me down there. It's quite deep, but I've got my grabbing thingy. Sorry about the sound quality because this is very echoey. Echoey. No, I've never found that bit of flagel before. I found the top bits and I found the side bits and bottom bits. I've even found the handle, but I've never found the neck. That's really strange. Nice big chunk of pottery though. I wonder if there's anything else mystical and magical in these waters. Oh look, there's messing up and muddying all the waters. What are we going to do with him? We just can't get the stuff. Ooh, is that what I think it is? Let's have a look.
I don't think it's a twig because it would have floated away.
Well, let's play twig or pipe stem. What do you think? Twig or pipe stem? Oh, I dropped it again. Ah. It's a bit of pipe stem. Oh, I'm so now I get very excited about pipe stems. I love them. I can see something else that could be a bit of pipe stem. It's over there, and it's long and thin. Oh, very floaty. No, it's a big razor.
Well,
So,
that definitely don't belong in here.
no, put it very carefully in the bag. You don't want to cut yourself with it.
I'll put it in the little compartment.
Good idea. Lots of little bits of pottery and terracotta. Nothing that I could see so far that has a pattern on it. A few bricks, but none of those have any writing on it. The water is lovely and clear. Perfectly right through to the bottom. All we need now is some pines. I'm sure they're here somewhere. This sort of a stoneware jar. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. The daffodils are busy blooming, the birds are singing. I don't know if the camera's picking them up. What a wonderful way to spend an afternoon. And then we got a bit of mixing bowl. More vintage than antique probably, but very identifiable by that colour. Now that is an old piece of willow pattern. You can tell by the colouring. And also if you look on the back you can tell. It's still very close to the road, so sorry about the road noise. There are buses and lorries everywhere. But we're heading out into the quiet. In the distance you can hear perhaps the chattering. There's a little wren who was building a nest and landed on the trunk of the tree in front of me. By the time I turned the camera on, they'd flown into the nest, and now they've flown behind me and are telling me off. They don't like me here, so let's move on. I just found this in the water. I thought it was plastic, but it's not. It's copper. Very interesting. Got a few little stones stuck in the gap there, but I'm going to take that home, open it up and see if it's identifiable. I think it's perhaps some sort of copper tubing that's flattened and bent. Interesting though. found something else that could be a twig or a pipe stem. So what is it? Twig or pipe stem? Oh, it's a bit of pipe stem. Look at, oh, I do love my pipe stems. Oh, I'm excited about that. And also, what's this here? Oh, it's a very pretty piece of glass. Not a lot of it. And oh, the bottom of a blue pot. That would have been beautiful. But there's rather a lot missing.
Would you like to see what I have found?
Ooh, let's have a look what you found.
First off, I found a brick.
Oh, LBC, London Brick Company.
I'm not taking it with me. It's worn out, it's covered in cement, but I just wanted to show that we are right. The London Brick Company get everywhere, including under the bridge here in Abergavenny.
Yep.
So, what else have we got?
Let's have a look.
We've got that
Ooh,
interesting
look at that.
textures. See there, textures.
All in there. A lot of texture on that.
Now, this piece, look, that's snapped off a jug, I believe.
Oh, yes.
It's the
handle.
The little finial that holds it on. And another similar sort of thing there. But on the other side, you can see the pattern.
Oh, yes. And there's a helicopter now. It's very noisy here.
When I say the other side...
Oh, inside. Oh, I thought you meant on the side of the handle.
No, see it? It was a very posh jug, I think. And then we've got this piece.
Right. Oh, a stripe.
We've got a stripe on there.
Oh,
and look at the pattern on that, that's faded.
Mind you that we've seen a lot of this and it seems to be made in the first place very faded because it's all very faded.
And that's less faded.
Yep. It's a nice, more willow pattern, I think.
I call that just because it was a nice tactile little...
looks like a biscuit.
Yeah, little tile, you know?
It is a little tile. You can see the
so there must be a use
glaze on the front, but it does look like a biscuit.
And finally, in my finds on this little bit...
Oh, it's pink.
Isn't that pretty?
Well, I'm going to go for something like Pyrex.
Possibly,
a pink Pyrex bowl.
Possibly, yeah.
Nice
so
finds.
That's my finds from under the bridge.
Nothing massive, but all very interesting, very historic.
Indeed. Have you been finding things?
I found a few little bits and pieces, and I've lost it again. There it is.
I seen it. You don't lose it.
There was a little bit of pipe stem I found, and then it rolled off and landed in the water. I found it again, and then I thought I'd lost it again, but there it is.
There you go.
And we've got a little bit of stripe and a little bit of, there's a stoneware jar, a little bit of stripy glass, a little bit of green and a little bit of that, which I think I've shown you off this. So.
Well, not to be beaten, I've got a piece of pipe stem.
Ooh, look at that.
And I think it might be the longest piece of pipe stem.
Ooh, could well be.
But the interesting thing about the location we're in today, Abergavenny, is that you don't only have one river. The Gavenny has given its name to the town, but just over on the other side of town, you've got the River Usk. So we're going to pop over there now and hopefully be able to find a beach and have a little check. But while we do that, let me share some of the history behind this amazing place. Dark history, to say the least. Of all the nations in the world, Wales really does excel itself when it comes to mysteries and myths and stories that are born out of that distant past. As I say, so many of those stories are created out of folklore, and I suppose being a nation that has a dirty great big red dragon smack in the middle of its flag, you can expect us to have our fair share of tales to tell. But sometimes history, reality and truth are just as outrageous or as interesting as the fables themselves. And that's certainly true here at Abergavenny. Today, Abergavenny is a thriving town, known as the gateway to Wales. It's got an array of shops, including several charity shops, or thrift stores as they call it in America. It's got beautiful buildings from the Tudor period right through to the Victorian and beyond. But we are stood on the grounds of Abergavenny Castle. And this castle has a story to tell that is as macabre as any in the history of Wales. The castle itself was built 20 years or so after the Normans landed here in the United Kingdom, down at Hastings. Around about 1087, they built what was a wooden structure on a mound. And over the years they developed that. So by the early 12th century, we had a substantial stone building, a building that was designed for defence. The Norman Baron felt secure as he had established for himself such a strong structure. Yet within 2 years of it being built, it had been attacked by the local Welsh chieftain, and he seized the castle, but only for a short time. Then it reverted back. But things weren't going to stay that way. The battles continued, the Welsh against the incomers, and eventually there was a battle in which the son of the Baron was killed. As a result, it couldn't be passed on through the normal line, and it went to a son-in-law. Now, that's certainly not the end of the tale, because this is where it gets really dark and very nasty. The son-in-law, rather than appreciate his good fortune in suddenly taking on all the lands hereabout and the castle as his own possession, resented the Welsh and wanted revenge for his brother-in-law's death. But the way he went about it was far from noble. Yes, the battles that took place in those times were very, very savage, and deaths occurred on a regular basis. But this man's idea was to trap all of his enemies in one go, and he did it at Christmas. Yes, it was Christmas 1175. The Lord of the Manor, William de Braose, decided to send out an invitation not only to the local chieftain, but also his son, his close followers, and all of the chieftains in the area. And he welcomed them all into the castle, that they could sit and share a Christmas meal and talk peace. The chieftains and their followers were keen to seize this moment so that they could come to some agreement that would end the war in factions. But peace and tranquility, goodwill to all men, was certainly not on William's mind. Because they were to sit in the main hall for a meal, he asked that all weapons be left outside. And then he led them in. When they were all inside and unarmed, the doors were locked and the slaughter began, as dozens of men were put to the sword and killed. And the leadership of so many areas around here was wiped out in one Christmas event. It was a bitter blow to the Welsh cause and to the people and to their heart for rebellion, but it certainly didn't end the animosity that was between the Normans and the Welsh. And 7 years later, that animosity came to the surface when the Welsh chieftains launched an attack on Abergavenny Castle. They seized it, and not only did they seize the castle, not only did they take the governor and his wife captive, but they burned the castle. And today we're surrounded by what appear to be peaceful ruins. But in that time there was so much carnage, so much bloodshed, so much betrayal, and all under the cloak of Christmas hospitality. As I said, the truth is sometimes just as outrageous as the fictions, the fables, and the myths. What a story! And of course, there over my shoulder, you can see the remains of the castle looking out across the plains down here to the river. So now, all we have to do is try and find the beaches along the river. There are two we've seen on Google Earth, so there's a little one and a big one, and we're going to check them out now.
Oh, look, we spotted the first beach of this river, the River Esk. Now this is the smaller of two we know for, so we're not expecting great things, but that doesn't mean we're not going to find anything. Definitely worth having a little look, so let's try getting down there without falling over. And we're down! So let's have a look. There are lots of grey stones. Not so much of terracotta and things like that here. Oh, there's a little bit of glass, but Don't think that's very well worn, so we'll leave that there. There's a brick, it's well buried.
Well, it's a lovely little beach with a beautiful little inlet, water running through into the river. Perfect spot for a picnic, but in all honesty, not much good for a mudlarker because there's nothing here. Let's go downriver a little and see if things improve.
We found the second beach and it goes quite a distance down there, so there's plenty to look at as far as the area is concerned. But is there anything over that area? Lots of gnats flying today. And Phil's, look at that, he's already in the water, he's keen.
I've popped my wellies on.
Well done. So come on, everybody pop your wellies on again, and we're going in. Look how clear that water is. Oh no, that's a nice bit of driftwood. Look at the size on that. I don't know if you can tell the size on it from there, so I'll put my foot on there. And then look at that. It is enormous. Almost like some sort of weird fantasy landscape. And I know people say we see dragons everywhere, but look at that. That is pretty impressive. And look at his eye. It's actually a brick that the tree has grown around over decades. He's got a proper brick eye in there. That's pretty impressive.
Can we give him a pupil, do you think?
Oh, go on then.
Do you think it's right there? Or do you think it looks better there? With a bloodshot eye?
Oh yes. That's the one, look at that. Our own Welsh dragon. We call him Donny. Donny the dragon.
Well, we're on a bigger river with massive beach. I walked the entire beach and found less than I found underneath that tunnel that we went on the River Gwenny. There we go, a little bit of texture there.
Yep.
That one I love.
It's very cute. It's like a teardrop shape, isn't it?
It is beautiful. That is ready to be made into a piece of jewellery, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Absolutely ready to
Willow
go,
pattern.
that is. Yeah, a little pendant, willow pattern pendant. There we've got a little bit of plain.
Yep.
That is got, I don't know what it is, but it's an interesting texture.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very worn old piece of blue and white.
And that's a little,
Whoop.
either the base of an egg cup.
I would say probably the base of an egg cup, yep.
Possibly.
Or the lid off a pot.
Oh, maybe a lid, because if you look at that, it isn't shaping up fat. But whilst I do love this piece, which I think is going to make a lovely bit of jewellery, I've got to be honest, I have surpassed myself and found the only bit of river glass in the whole of the Abergavenny district. I thought, this is mad, there's no river glass. Now, we were down on the River Taff and it was river glass, river glass, river glass. That was last week. We're on this river, nothing. And I was thinking I'm going to make a point of this when we talk to the camera next, and I found one bit. One bit! Having said that, I think there's a second bit by your foot. Where did I see that? Oh. Oh, it's not very well worn, but it's glass.
It is. You can definitely say that is definitely glass.
They looked after their glass in this part of the world. It didn't end up in the river, that's for sure. So, while the finds are thin on the ground, on the River Esk at the moment, we'll keep looking. But there's plenty of finds over in the shed. Come on, let's pop over there and do a bit of craft. Great to see you over at the shed again. As you can see, things are progressing. I'm not pretending that it's neat and tidy here, it's not. But I have now got access to this side of the shed again. So I'm now sat in front of my radio and my drawers with my shelf with bottles, and I'm at my new desk. So I'm working on my new desk today. And I'm going to be trying to create a dragon's lair. we often refer to dragons, and I appreciate that we probably refer to them more than most. But whilst I would agree that China probably has first claim on the dragon as a great item of their art and their mythology, you've got to give it to Wales. Because we were late in the day coming up with a flag, we could look around the world and decide, right, what can we do to beat everyone else? So rather than having 2 stripes or a cross or 3 stripes going a different way in different colours, we went with 2 stripes. But we also went with a dirty great big dragon in the middle, and that certainly catches people's eye. I think that the one Caroline spotted today was absolutely brilliant. Obviously not something we could bring home. But we do have a dragon here that was a lovely gift from our friend Jeff. And we'd like to just put him on display in a setting appropriate to this wonderful mythological beast. And that's what I'm going to try now. And I'm going to have a go at creating not just a setting that is suited, but to try and add a bit of light in order to get some magical effect into the finished piece. So I'm going to be using all sorts of bits and pieces. I'm going to be using wood, stone. I'm even going to use one of Caroline's empty candy floss tubs. Everything's getting pulled in today. So come on, let's get on, make it, and see what you think. That proved to be quite a task, but having put in the time and created the piece, I'm pleased with what I've made. You should never stop short of being happy with what you've made. You can't please everyone all of the time, we know that, and sometimes it's pretty hard to please anyone. But always remember, if you're enjoying it and you like it, then at least someone's having fun. And I've had fun making this. I hope you like it as much as I do. So here we go. Here's your view of the finished piece. Just to show that it is a freestanding piece that can be moved about, here it is in all its splendour, created on that piece of drift bark that we picked up while we were down on the Ogmore beach, and I think it suits the job just fine. And of course, when you put the light inside, it transforms it. Enough from the shed. We've got to get back to finding finds and sharing them with you. But we're not going straight back to the River Usk at Abergavenny. No, we've got some footage to show you from a location a little further north, because we have so much footage from our trip to Yorkshire, we haven't been able to share it all in the videos that we've made. So here we go, folks. Have a look at these finds before I join you back at the river. Right, folks. Here we are, we've come to a far corner, just on the boundary, and the bottle diggers have been busy. So come with me now as we take a walk along and see what we can find. Now, I won't say shout if you see something, because to be honest, there are things everywhere here. You just can't miss the stuff. But we're gonna have a wander through. I'll pick some things up after. I'm just taking you for a stroll along to see if there's anything that you fancy here on this dump. Oh, I hope you're not feeling as cold as we are, because it's quite a breeze up here. Indeed. Now, there's quite a collection of lampshades here, which are not dissimilar to the one that I found, which was rather rotted. And then our dear friends Mark and Judy, the Kentish Mudlarkers, sent me a replacement, which was much nicer than the one that I had. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, but I don't think any of them are quite as nice as the one that I've got. There's a lovely square bottle there, and a medicine bottle, and another amber bottle. Whoops, daisy. Ooh, there's a big square bottle. Actually, this one has got something on it. Oh, now that's nice. That says Boots the Chemist. Now that is a boot. There's another sweet little find. Look at that. Isn't that a boot? That's a lovely little bottle, that. Absolute cracker. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's unusual. Looks like a little toy sink, but it's got a pump handle water pump on the side. I assume that you used to be able to put water in the bottom of this and then pump the water up into the sink and it went down the plug hole. How cute is that? Now, there are quite a few larger items which are just too big to carry back today. Lovely large jar there. I've seen a few bigger bottles, but I'm looking for the smaller things that will be lighter to carry because we're a fair way away from the car. There we go. This is your find today, love.
Yep, I show you.
What have you got?
I've got a giant Bovril 8-ounce jar. Oh, 16 ounce, sorry.
16, nice, 16. That's nice.
And I got this green bottle.
Oh.
SCWS and shield hole.
Right.
I thought it was nice.
Right, that's good. There's CWS is cooperative. I'm wondering if it's like Sheffield Cooperative
Be,
or
yeah,
something like that, or
on the side, what was the name? Shieldhole.
Shieldhole.
Oh, Shieldhole.
Yeah, I wonder if it is CWS as we know it.
And I got this pretty jar.
Oh, that's a nice one.
I thought that was nice.
That
Square
is
top,
nice.
but it's very pretty.
That is nice. I think you could probably do something nice with that.
And I got this, which I have no idea what it is. The only thing I could think of is a mould from something to do with pottery. Perhaps it looks like it's fire brick or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is.
Put it down that way, sort of thing.
Oh yes, put it down that way. That should
It's
be.
alive.
It is. And I got a leg.
A leg. Oh, always handy to have a leg.
And then I got this, which is in a bit of poor condition, but I thought it was interesting to look at. Enamel, a sink drainer probably. You can put your soap and your dishcloth in there and it would drain out.
And of course, I can always spot at any distance a nice milk bottle.
Yep.
And that is one nice milk bottle.
It is, isn't it? It's a
that bright?
Marshall's pure new milk.
That's bright, that is.
It's lovely, isn't it? I love the top of that one as well.
Yeah, that is gorgeous. Oh, nice finds.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing those marvellous finds in Yorkshire. I tell you, very different part of the world to this, isn't it, when it comes to treasures to be discovered. If you did enjoy it, we'll put a link just up above. I don't know if it's that way.
Put it one for there.
Oh, but there, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for there. To some of our Yorkshire videos, and you can have a look at us finding things up there at your leisure. But if you've had a good time today, why not give us the thumbs up?
Noing, noing, noing.
And if you know anyone who would enjoy this video, then please share it with them. But until the next time, don't forget, have fun. Bye.
Bye.